I got to do that when I was a professor at Geneva College, and uh, first of all, there's a lot you can do. Um, I I normally speak from a manuscript. I didn't today because I promised someone I wouldn't. And one time in my history, I didn't speak from a manuscript. I was at Geneva College and I was giving a lecture. I think it was on Frankenstein, which is the topic of my dissertation and so I was giving a lecture. And the question of faith and life came up. And for a moment, I put my 20-page manuscript down and I said, and it was a large lecture because I was a visiting humanities professor, so it was, and I said, for the people in this room who think you're Christians, but you're not going to church, and you think the church is full of hypocrites, then here's what I want you to do. Come to church with me. If you think you're not a hypocrite, but the church is filled with hypocrites, then come to church with me. Well, I will know, I did that, and I can't tell you, dozens of students who would show up at my little apartment, and we would go to church on the Lord's Day, and then come back afterwards and have a meal, and then sometimes go back for evening worship. And that was the most wonderful thing. I had such a small apartment that I would have to move the dog bed into the bathroom or kitchen, or like hang it off the back porch just so that we could sit on the floor. There wasn't even a chance you were going to get a chair. And then for me, a touchstone of my Christian life is keeping the Lord's Day holy and being in the lives of other believers that day and not doing stuff that day that isn't about being in the lives of other believers, apart from maybe mercy work, which you can do, together. And so that meant that all kinds of students knew where my apartment was, and we would have many after school dinners, and I think it's just great to do, and I think students are a great deal of fun. So in a student ministry, that's something. The other way, I am completely indebted to a single woman friend who is at the cornerstone of our hospitality ministry. Not only does she read my steno book, all the time and kind of check things off for me, but she travels with me, and she takes care of my children, and she's another one of the aunties, and she brings people. So she brings people to our home that I wouldn't have access to for a whole lot of reasons. So I would say you could do hospitality in your own home, or you can tie in with someone who really needs you, because that counts too. We exchange our roles of host and guest. Jesus did. There's no reason to think we wouldn't also.